Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the May, can you believe it, May Los Altos Chamber Government Affairs Committee. And we are going to get started. We have a great event meeting topic for you today. We are going to have Anthony Carnesecca, Assistant to the City Manager, kind of lead off with some topics, but we're going to do your introduction last, like I said. So let's just start with introductions. I am Diana Batista. I am chair of this, and in my day job, I am with Lucille Packard Children's Hospital, Stanford. And we're gonna go, and like I usually do, it's popcorn style. So get ready to take yourself off of mute. Stephen Sun.
Good morning. My name is Stephen Sun with the City of Los Altos. I'm the transportation manager.
Great. Abby.
Good morning. This is the fan club for all of our speakers today.
Love it. I just see D Tambropic.
That's right. Hey, you pronounced it great. Thank you. I'm with California Water Service. We have a project going on in downtown, and we're here to listen in. And if you guys had any questions, we're available. Thank you.
Okay. Scott Hunter.
All right, I had cursor on that dang audio thing. Good morning, Scott Hunter, Executive Director, Los Altos Village Association.
Thank you, Scott O'Brien.
Scott O'Brien, Cushman and Wakefield, commercial real estate, former chamber board member.
Mel.
Good morning, Mel.
You're still on mute. Oh, you're muted, Mel.
Can I unmute him? Let me see. No, I can't. I can ask him to unmute.
Nicole, can you unmute him? Oh, there he goes.
Sorry. I'm a property owner downtown and have probably been here longer than all of you guys, I'm afraid.
And have had businesses down.
Yeah. So.
Well, good to see you.
Thanks for
Ellen.
joining me.
Oh, you're muted. You might be having sound issues.
Just wave, Ellen. Ellen Biolsi, our recent Walter Singer Award winner and owner of the Cranberry Scoop downtown Los Altos.
We have a celebrity amongst us. I love it.
Right.
Tim.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Tim Giacomini with the Chamber, also Mission Trail Waste Systems.
Okay. Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Seidel. I'm with the local family office, and I'm also on the board of the Chamber.
Chris.
I don't know a lot of these people.
Hi, Chris Wilson with California Water Service Company. I'm the operations manager, so I work with David and I oversee day-to-day operations for the water company.
Leslie.
Hi, good morning. Leslie Rodriguez. I'm a partner at California Strategies, and I'm here supporting California Water Services, my favorite client.
Sally.
Good morning, Sally Meadows, council member here in my personal capacity and staying off camera this morning as a favor to all of you.
Jealous. Dawn.
Good morning. It's good to see so many familiar faces that I haven't seen in such a long time. I'm the district manager for the Los Altos Suburban District, but I'm also district manager for the district north of us here called the Bear Gulch District. So that's why I know some of you in different capacities. It's good to see everyone.
Jenny.
Jenny Lear. I'm a downtown resident on 2nd Street. Very interested.
Marie.
Good morning, everyone. Excuse me, a little gravelly voice this morning. Marie Young, individual member of the Chamber, and just interested in the topic. Thank you.
This is my own problem when I jump around. I see Rod. Did I have you introduce yourself? I don't think I did.
Not yet. I'm happy to go now. Thank you. Good morning, Rod Zavala. I'm with California Water Service. I am a regional manager that supports our main replacement program. So I'm lucky to work with the Los Altos district as well.
Three people from the water company.
Yes. And Nicole. Nicole's our amazing person at the Los Altos Chamber.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. Yeah, I'm Nicole. I'm part of the Los Altos Chamber team.
And everyone knows Kim, but Kim, please feel free.
Sure. Kim Mosley, President of the Los Altos Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Wanted to mention really quickly that the session is recorded so that we can share that with other businesses through text and email in the future.
Great. And last but not least, I think I got everybody. And if I haven't, please do interrupt me. But without further ado, I think everyone knows Anthony. And he is like major star player in Los Altos. He is now the assistant to the city manager. And I think I'm going to let you set the stage, Anthony. And why are we here? I know there are some projects going on downtown, but please go ahead and start your presentation.
Diana, far too kind, as always. I am very happy to be here today. I think I know everybody on the call in different capacities, but Anthony Carnesecca, assistant to the city manager. I've been with the city about 7 years, and my roles include trying to help our downtown and our businesses and our business community as best as possible through economic development. So without further ado, I'm going to go into kind of downtown Los Altos infrastructure improvements. I do want to note that this is being recorded, like Kim said, but all of you know, if you, business owners, property owners, anyone else downtown wants to talk, I'm more than happy to come on site and talk individually about all of these projects. The city does recognize that there are going to be quite a few projects going on, but we want to be as readily available as possible to help. So here you go. Our agenda today, I'm going to give you an overview of downtown. We're going to look at the large infrastructure projects that we're talking about, and then the smaller infrastructure improvements and projects that are happening downtown. And then these larger projects that aren't infrastructure improvements, but they are some big projects that are in the pipeline that everybody on this call is probably well aware is happening. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about next steps.
Anthony, I think you need to flip it into presentation mode.
Oh, there's too many screens that I can't figure out. Let's see, what's the best one? How's this? Is that better?
Yes, we see the map.
Awesome.
Perfect.
I just wanted to orient everybody to downtown. So when we're talking about things, you know where we're at. Parking Plazas 1, 2, and 3. We commonly refer to those as the Southern Parking Plazas. Those are spanning from First to San Antonio, south of Main Street. And then 4, 5, and 6 are Central Parking Plazas, which are located between Main and State Street. And then Parking Plazas 7, 8, 9, and 10 are North Parking Plazas. So if you hear me referring to these parking plazas, feel free to take note of that. And then large infrastructure improvements. So these are our 4 big infrastructure improvements that we have in the pipeline. Preliminary crack sealing, water main replacement, micro resurfacing our streets, and then repaving parking plazas 4, 5, and 6, which, as I talked about on the last slide, is our central parking plazas. So right now, our streets crew, Tuesday through Friday, are every morning going through our downtown, and they're doing preliminary crack sealing. I am not an engineer, as you probably could have guessed based on how I'm going to describe some of these things, but they are filling in, sealing our cracks that exist along the street that need to be filled in so we can maintain the longevity of the street. And then in about 4 or so months, they're going to be taking the next steps, but they need to do this initially. And they've been closing off these individual block segments. They've been doing a great job of making sure that people know what's going on and they see them, but it's not impacting in the morning too much. This is our water main replacement project that's being managed by Cal Water, our water utility provider for the city of Los Altos. They're planning to upgrade our water mains pretty much throughout downtown in the north and central parking plazas, with some spillover onto El Monte and then on Main Street and State Street in various locations. They are going to be doing work Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. It will be now. I think the project kickoff meeting is actually this afternoon on site, and then they're going to get started and they're going to go through about September. I do want to let everybody know that we've been working very closely with Cal Water. I want to give a huge shout out to David from Cal Water for being extremely responsive, especially as we talk about timelines, big events happening downtown. They know about all of our various special events that happen around town. So they know about the Art and Wine Festival, the Pet Parade, Farmers Market, all of these things. And we've been in communication to make sure that we can minimize the impact as much as possible. This will require segments of various parking plazas to be shut down at different periods of time. So basically, rows of parking nearest to certain buildings may need to be shut down as they do the work, but they're not going to be shutting down the entirety of downtown for any period of time because they're really focusing on segmenting the work. And so I want to thank Cal Water for trying to be as responsive as possible to make sure that that impact is not felt as much as it could be. These water mains are in desperate need of repair. I believe the water mains are about at least 50 to 60 years old. David can correct me if I'm wrong there, but they're pretty old and need to be replaced. And especially as we're starting to see development come online in our downtown and more use, we want to actually make the water mains bigger. So Cal Water is upgrading them while they're replacing them. And then micro resurfacing streets. In late summer of this year, they are going to be doing the micro resurfacing project. So that's why they were doing the crack sealing now in preparation for in about 4 months. So we're talking about probably September timeframe. They will be micro resurfacing the streets. That will be the segments of Main and State, and they're going to shut it off in block increments for about a day or two each to be able to do that. And then they're going to apply that new asphalt throughout the downtown on those streets. And then about 2 weeks later, they're going to come in and do striping. So just so you know, there's going to be about 2 weeks where we're going to put delineators, cones, try and make it look as good as possible and people understand where to go and how to navigate streets. But they will need a little bit of time before they stripe the streets after they've resurfaced them. And I did steal this picture from them crack sealing because they haven't done the work yet. So this isn't what the work is going to look like, but this is our crews downtown. And then repaving parking plazas 4, 5, and 6. So those are our central parking plazas. We are currently in the design phase of getting renderings of what it could look like, how we can have improvements. Really, the ideal scenario is that we replace the existing parking plazas that are there now with new asphalt. We need to have new drainage. So there's a state law that requires anytime we place asphalt or concrete greater than 5,000 square feet, we have to have stormwater drainage. So we're going to have bioswales and a number of other things to make sure that it has proper drainage. Accessibility is obviously one of our number one concerns. We want to make sure that we improve the ADA accessibility of our downtown and our parking supply. We want to make sure that people are able to park and navigate our downtown as best as they possibly can. And then they are going to be rehabilitating some of the sidewalks adjacent to buildings. So on the backside of buildings, they are going to look at trying to make sure that our sidewalks on the perimeter here are as good as they possibly can be. And that is targeted for probably early spring, summer of next year, just because when we initially discussed this plan, we wanted to do this after we've had the utility work completed. So we're doing the water main replacement, and then we will follow it up by repaving the parking plazas. I think the worst thing we could do is repave our parking plazas, and then we do all of these big utility projects afterwards and cut up our nice new asphalt that we've laid down. So we're waiting until all of that's done, and then we'll be repaving those central parking plazas. I did want to let you guys know that this was a fun project. We have a graphic design consultant who's put together some construction signage. So you're going to start seeing these A-frames around town. So as work is being completed, we do want to put these around so people will have a little bit of fun with a construction site that's happening. We want to let them know that construction is going on, but it's not as painful as it hopefully could be. And I personally really like this acorn with all the cones. That really cracked me up. So this is a good one, and expect to see these around town at various construction sites.
Anthony, can I just say, I would buy a plush acorn that looks like that. It is cute little merch. I'm just putting that thought out there.
Well, I'll talk to our team and see what we're thinking on merch because I do think this acorn is adorable. So I agree with that. Smaller infrastructure improvements. There's a number of things that you can expect to see downtown that we're trying to do in addition to these larger projects. Solar lighting, we've installed 30 so far this year. We're going to do 30 more next year. We're going to continue to expand this program. So swapping out some of our lighting with solar lighting, which has gone great. These lights are beautiful. You can see the picture here that it's lighting up the mural here. And then we are installing e-bike lockers. So we recognize that our employees, our customers, I'm thinking of even our high school students that come downtown, ride e-bikes, and we want somewhere for them to be able to put their e-bikes and feel safe about them in lockers. And ideally, we'll have e-bike lockers that will actually have charging. So in parking plazas 4, 5, and 6, as we repave, we're going to install these lockers that will allow people to park their bikes all day and they can actually charge them. So that way people could have a new avenue to potentially get to and from work. And then we are going to work on replacing the downtown banners. I know if you've seen the banners, Scott and Lava do a great job with the banners, but we are looking at purchasing some new downtown banners that have downtown Los Altos branding. We really want to drive people to recognize that when they take pictures in the backgrounds, it'll say downtown Los Altos. We want to have our brand. We want to know people to know where they are. And I know Kim Cranston's not on this call, but I'll call out Fred Kent. We need a sense of place. So we're trying to establish downtown Los Altos as the place. And then hanging plants. So in addition to the banners, we're going to be flip-flopping between hanging plants and banners in our downtown to create a new visual appeal, especially as you're driving. You'll be able to see these plants, and it'll be a pop of color in our downtown. And long-term projects. So these are not infrastructure projects, but these are some of the things in the pipeline that actually led to the conversations with Cal Water and our various utilities providers to identify whether we needed to see some improvements for things. So we have housing, the park, and the Performing Arts Center. I'm looking at the list of names on this call. Everybody probably knows most of these projects are happening and what capacity, but here's a brief update. For housing, we have received responses from 7 different developers. The next steps will be coming shortly. Once they've had a chance, City Council reviews and staff has the presentation ready to go. We'll obviously be bringing this back out to the community to let them know of what's happening in those next steps. The Park with Parking project is for plazas 1 and half of 2, which is across from the historic train station behind the post, and it spans all the way down to behind Cook's Junction. And I think Ecofash is down there at the end of 3rd and Main Street. We are beginning community engagement in late May. We've signed a contract with a consultant, Watry and MIG. Watry is a world-renowned parking consultant who does great jobs with parking. And then MIG is a great park architect who does a great job. If you want to see their work, you don't have to go far. Take a look at the community center landscaping projects. All of the landscaping at the community center was done by MIG. They presented to City Council, it was 2 weeks ago in a study session. That was a really great presentation. I encourage you to please go watch that. They had renderings of other projects they've done, which is the Playhouse Square project in Pasadena. They've done a lot of similar projects that look really, really good, and we're excited to have them on board. They will be seeking feedback on park amenities and what folks would like to see there, and they're going to be creating different concept alternatives. So I'm excited to bring them back. I have no doubt that they'll come before this group. You're going to see them pretty much at the farmers market, art and wine, First Friday, every possible event that we can get them out and about into the community, we're going to bring them. And if it's not them, it'll be me. You're going to see me a lot over the summer as we're trying to get feedback on the downtown park with parking. And then the Performing Arts Center. So the Community Foundation is set to hire a capital campaign firm or individual. We've started the interview process of talking to folks and establishing if there is a interested capital campaign firm or individual who can manage this project. And this would initialize the private fundraising efforts for the project. So this would allow the firm or individual to really focus on fundraising and identify what capital is there. And that'll be a quiet phase where they're going to be working with high net worth individuals to identify fundraising. And then they'll report back to the city in about a year or so after that. And so this is the snapshot of downtown. I know I don't want to say I word vomited, but I kind of word vomited a bunch of information, which feels like a lot. And so I wanted to give you the overview of kind of what we're looking at. So if you can imagine, Cal Water is doing a water main project all through 4, 5, and 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way out to El Monte up here on the edge of the map. So they're going to be doing improvements here that are going to increase the water volume size, as well as replace those pipes that desperately need to be replaced. And then we're going to be repaving all of State Street and all of Main Street. And we're going to be doing that in segmented work. Roughly, there may be a little bit of overlap, but really by the time we do that, Cal Water will be out of the direct downtown core, because they're hoping that this will be done in time for Art and Wine, at least these two plazas here. And then when we're talking about housing, we are looking at Parking Plazas 7 and 8 here. And for our park, and we're looking at 1 and half of 2, and then the theater would go right here. And then as part of the downtown park project, I do want to highlight, we are looking at replacement parking. So how we can have this parking either on site or nearby. We are looking at all parking options for that, but we are looking at replacement parking as part of that project. So we are well aware that parking is an important consideration, and we'll try our best to have a good solution there. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions folks may have. I can stop sharing my screen.
Thank you. And I think the overview that you had at the end was really, really helpful. It may have given me a little bit of anxiety myself. I don't even live in Los Altos, but I think it's really, really helpful. Are there questions or comments from the group?
Yeah, I have a comment. I am concerned about the part where you say, well, we're going to put parks in, and then we're going to do underground parking. To just say that it takes a lot to do that, and I'm kind of concerned about how it's going to be for the merchants and all the stuff while Anthony already knows I'm not particularly thrilled about putting a park on our convenient parking right now, and also the cost of going underground parking and doing it. And I mean, to me, for the merchants and property owners, I don't see that as being such a great thing, and it's going to be very costly. That's just my opinion. So I have a lot of concerns about it, and it sounds okay when you talk about it, and yeah, we're going to go underground parking. But I think if you think about it, that's a major thing to do and rip up, and I have concerns about it. And I think as a merchant, you would be a little concerned too.
And I've met with Mel individually, and we've talked about this, so it's not
I didn't surprise you.
It does not surprise me, but I do think the value of a park and community space in our downtown would be monumental in the fact that it would allow a new space for activity, activation, everyday use to draw people in. And so that's why part of this is that community engagement. So over the next summer, so I think the next 3 or 4 months, we're going to be talking to you, property owners, business owners, residents about what they'd like to see and what they think would be beneficial in a park space. So as part of this, we're going to look at every available option and take every consideration. But I think all the studies show that having a park in a downtown does bring economic vitality and really drive people to downtown who may not normally go. I'm thinking of the fact that I have a 4-year-old at home, which is crazy to say next week, but he's 4. And my wife every day says there's a new park in Milpitas that we need to go check out that she sees on Instagram. And you know where we go? We go there to that new park. And so hopefully if we have that new park space and that new amenity that we can bring online, we can have people drive and come to Los Altos and choose us as a destination.
I have a little time to do a counter thing on that because
Sure.
What concerns me is we have a fairly older age, not it's both young and old, but I think for our older customers that come into downtown to think that they have to find a place, go underground, then get up to ground level and get into a shop, uh, it concerns me. I'm not trying to be totally negative on it, but I think it's right now we have, and we're all lucky. You that have businesses here and you that own property. I know as a property owner, I feel very fortunate that it's in Los Altos because we're busy downtown, and I worry that what we're talking about doing and forcing people to park below level and then walk up some stairs to get into the shops, they're not going to think it's such a great deal. So Anthony's heard me say this before, but I'm just saying it because I'm really concerned about it. I don't think
No,
it's such a
and
great
I think it's fair. I think also as part of these projects, when we talk about high quality, accessible customer parking is our #1 goal. That's what we want, and that's why we're repaving our central parking plazas 4, 5, and 6. We're doing the improvements on Main and State Street that are going to actually add some ADA stalls
I like all
potentially
that.
along. And so I think the big thing is that we are going to improve the customer experience. We really need to make sure we have centralized employee parking off, not in that central area, and make sure employees are parking where they need to park. So that way customers can park where we want them to, like you're talking about. So we are trying to do this multi-pronged approach of having high quality customer parking, but then also have that employee parking that's off to this, not off to the side, but not as high of a consideration as the customer parking that you're talking about.
I guess we'll have to agree to disagree.
And Mel, you know, I'm always happy to chat more.
I know we've done a lot of this.
Is
But
it
I
Anthony?
actually,
Mark
I
second.
actually, I got onto this because I feel like as a chamber, village associate, and other, I'm not trying to be pissy over this, but it's a real worry for me that you're thinking we're going to put people to park below, and then they're going to come up to, and we've got all this nice parking that is convenient, and we're going to put a park in it. It just doesn't feel right to me. And Anthony and we've gone over this a lot of times, and I just felt it necessary for you to at least listen to how I feel about it.
Hey, Mel, it's Abby. Love you. But I'd love to hear, we've got a lot of amazing professionals on this time. I'd like to know whether or not, for example, from Cal Water, who we all love working with, will people be without water during this project? How is that being managed?
Good question. Yeah, we will, we're gonna try to limit the amount of times we put people without water, but there will be a couple times we have to tie in our new main to our existing main, and in those instances, there will be times that people will be without water. When we get to that point, I'll work with the city to see what our possibilities are working outside of business hours. But what we'll do is we'll prep a lot of the work ahead of time so that if we are out of water during business hours, we're going to try to keep it to a minimal.
Is there a schedule that's set that will show which sections, which parking plazas that main construction will be happening in what order that can
Yep,
be shared?
we do have a schedule. Yeah, I shared it with the city. Definitely can share it with this group. That's schedule's kind of fluid. Yesterday, we did a little bit of work. We also realized we didn't have to pothole a lot on Main Street, so we actually gained a couple of days. So we're actually moving forward with the first phase. So we could have a schedule, but just kind of understand too that it changes a little bit. We could run into obstacles that we can't see that's underground, but also we could be and have things in our favor, like I just said, Main Street, and we could actually move forward and complete things a little bit quicker.
And David, just to echo your point, you're starting in parking plaza number 6, correct? You're starting there, and then could you walk through kind of the order of operations for the project?
Yeah, definitely. Let me I took a picture of this, the screen so I know what plazas the numbers
I'm
are.
gonna pull the map back up, Anthony.
Yep.
Oh, cool. That's great. So from Plaza from I'm sorry, from Plaza South to Plaza North, we're replacing all the main on 3rd Street. So we did that first, and then we are going up State Street, which is Plaza 6, and we're going up towards State Street, and then we're gonna hook back around towards Main Street, and that is phase 1. So we're gonna go back around, so kind of like a horse shape. I mean, a horseshoe, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so then all the way down, yeah, back to 3rd Street. And
And
that
then
would be,
you'll
I'm
be
sorry.
working this way, right? Towards 5 and 4 after that?
After that, yeah. So then we'll tie in the main on Plaza South up there on State Street, and we'll have all of the services moved over, and our goal is to and re pave and do the concrete on Main Street. So that's back to normal, and then we'll work our way back down to Plazas 5 and 4. But our goal is to be done before the Art and Wine Festival for the first phase. After the Art and Wine Festival, we'll work our way down Plaza 5 and 4, and then that will be complete. And then we'll jump into 7, 8, 9, into 10, all the way up to San Antonio.
Okay.
And we did limit our hours, just if anyone has any questions or concerns, we limit our hours to 2 o'clock on Thursday. So we are out of there before the farmer's market, and we're trying to make sure that we leave a minimal footprint that you wouldn't realize that the construction is going on.
Let me just add something really quickly to what David's saying. And David, please correct me if I'm wrong. The whole point is that they're going to be installing the main out in the street first, so that the all the businesses, all the residents, they continue to have water during the whole construction process. When you will be experiencing the short disruption of water service is when they're actually connecting the old water service to the new water service. So the disruption is a short duration. They're going to have everything ready to go so that the disruption itself is a very short period of time. Worst case scenario, you're talking about maybe an hour. Best case scenario, you're talking less than that. It's just matter of having everything connected to the new water line, bring the service over, and then connect the old service to the new service. And please, David, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. As far as when we move the service lines, you're 100% right. But there will be a point when we have to actually tie in the entire water main to the existing water main, and that'll take some time. It's an all-day process where we also need to flush and sample because the water main gets exposed. You can get debris and stuff in the water main. You have to flush all that out, and then we pull samples to make sure that the water is safe and clean for the community.
So
I have a
first
really, really silly question, and please, I'm a noob at this stuff. I have no idea about water mains and things. Did I hear you guys say they're gonna go from like the size it is now to like larger pipes. So
Yes.
so how does that connect like in the interim? Like in my head, I'm imagining this round circle, this big round circle, hooking up to a smaller pipe, and I'm like, how
Mhm.
does that work? So
No, they have reducers, so they'll go from the bigger pipe and it reduces down to the smaller pipe.
okay, making sure.
Yeah.
I will ask the question that maybe people are thinking, they just don't want to say it.
No,
Like,
no, it's fine.
okay,
Yeah, no,
I
yeah, I
awesome.
appreciate those questions.
Diana, I tried to explain it at the 20,000 foot level that I understand it as a non-engineer. So that's why we have Cal Water on the call for the specifics.
Awesome. Thank you.
I
All right.
wanted to mention, and I'm sure you probably have had this conversation, Anthony, but with Abby being on the call, in that first phase at the top of where that horseshoe area is, we have a hotel that's Abby's hotel, who's right here on the call with us. So making sure that there's communication with her team as far as what's happening especially when the water's being turned off and on, would be especially helpful.
I
Definitely.
believe she is not impacted by this water main that's existing, but I'll double check with David. Abby knows I call her with updates, so she knows when we were crack sealing, I identified what day would minimize impact in the mornings to her, especially because we know that that's when they're going to be woken up by our crews out there. So we're trying to avoid that as much as we can.
Hey, Anthony, you've done a great job in keeping me posted. We actually pick days based on lowest occupancy because everybody's got to move their cars off to be available for the street to be available at 7 in the morning. So the city's fantastic. That's why I said I'm the fan club. Yes, I'm the hotel, but I really am fans because the people on this call make every possible effort and are available by phone to all of us with questions, etc. I mean, whether it's Anthony or Stephen or Cal Water, I mean, if you've got questions, they're so available to us, Kim. Thank you. And thank you for letting me bring it back. And I hope Mel's not real mad at me, but I love him, but we really needed answers. And I'm so glad all the pros are on this call.
Are there other questions or comments? And I want to do a shout out to Rob Seeley, who joined us from Cal Water. Rob, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Thank you. It's been too long.
Yep.
Since we were giving appreciations, I just wanted to say thanks to the city and everyone in the community for their partnership and just their patience as we move through with this project. And I'm just, I have a project I have to complete, but we work in Los Altos, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the city's going to look like in the next 4 to 5 years.
My question to you, Kim, is I know the city is going to have stuff on their website about all this stuff. Is the chamber planning on putting something similar to, just in case folks who are visiting Los Altos or wanting to do something in Los Altos will be aware of, like, hey, this stuff is happening?
Sure, we can absolutely make that information available. I think as I mentioned, kind of sharing the map for when the projects will be underway in general, at least the order, I think, of operations, right? And then we've been focused on the water. We have the water team here, and that part comes first. I think I'm sure there are also questions about the repaving component. And Anthony, did you say that would begin in 4 months from now? So we're doing the crack sealing now, and then 4 months later, the paving begins. Does that begin on Main or state, or what is, how does that plan look?
We don't know the schedule yet. It will be, like I said, segmented. So if you imagine, we're going to shut down certain blocks for a day or two as we do the individual sections. Once we know, we'll put that information out. I think I sent out an email to Lava, Chamber, LaPod, all the main players, trying to give an overview of all these projects. And as I get more information, we'll send it out. Obviously, the one important consideration is all of this is very fluid, as David said, no pun intended with the water, but all of these timelines are going to change depending on what we uncover as we start these projects. So we obviously have the best intentions to try and be as fast as possible, but it sounds like good news so far, but we never know what we're going to uncover. So As much as we can preach to the community, and I look at this group as a lot of valuable stakeholders in the business community that can articulate the message that a lot of this work really needs to get done. You know, we recognize that it's not fun to have construction, as much as we try and get our little acorn plushie out there, as Diana said. But we need to get water main size increased and replaced. We need to repave our parking plazas and we need to repave our streets. So as much as you all can tell folks and neighbors and talk to them and let them know that we're going to do the best we can to be as quick as possible.
I'm obsessed with that plushie idea. I think you could have a whole line first with a hard hat and then with something else. Like you could have a line of plushies. I'm just saying. Any other questions or comments from the group?
We buy a plushie with a hard hat.
See,
Sorry, Mark, go ahead.
There's a market out there. Mark, you said you had your hand raised.
Yeah, I just, Anthony, question for you and more for just for the group too. Is there an example of another downtown where they built underground parking and put a surface park so that business owners, community members, property owners could take a look at how that impacted economic development there, how that impacted the parking for more senior community members? Just wondering if people can get more informed if they looked at one example that you're like, you know, you guys should go look at this city. Then they can come back, we can come back with more precise feedback about how we can help the city make the project the best it can be.
Yeah, I can actually, so it's kind of a loaded question. I know it was a simple question. I don't want to make it too complicated, but we are looking at all solutions for parking. So that could include above grade parking. It could include underground parking. We're taking all parking solutions under consideration as part of this project and working with our consultant. I do have a list of, you know, a number of articles that talk about the benefits of a park that I'm happy to share with folks, especially the economic. When we're talking about a space that has a park or a plaza, Burlingame installed a plaza space in their downtown. They did do underground parking below it. Their space, I want to say, is not what we're looking at because it's truly a paved paver paseo space that was meant for just a farmer's market. What we're looking for is more of an active park that's not passive. So we can, it's just active in that it is a park, but we do have spaces that can activate into events as necessary. Sunnyvale does have a park space that with parking underneath it. They are currently reconfiguring the park because they put in a paseo that is more pavers than park space. So for us, I would say to look at those. I think Stanford has a number of good examples, and some of the hospitals have good examples of what underground parking could look like with some activated space that you can sit and use on a daily basis. So I'll also look into some more examples, but I can share the links to some articles about parks.
Thanks.
What, Anthony? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Because I think I've kind of asked for that question, you know, and I've never really received. I mean, my question to you one time had been, do we know any other cities like us who have removed convenient parking and went underground and for a park? And I have never really
Burlingame and Sunnyvale have done similar projects. So we have a couple neighboring cities that have done other projects like this.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm sure with anything like underground parking, the studies are going to be taking time, a little bit of time to be done, right? Like,
so as they're doing community engagement, they are going to be doing a site analysis that'll tell us what the actual underneath parking plazas 1 and 2 look like. And then we'll know more information and that can inform our decisions moving forward.
cool. All right. All right. Last call for questions or comments. Okay. Announcements. There is something happening in August. I'm gonna let Kim talk about. And while she mentions it, a little plug in for Cal Water to see if maybe they want to have a foursome at a certain golf tournament or sponsor a certain golf tournament. So I'm going to turn that over to Kim.
Thank you, Diana. So August 18th, we have our annual golf tournament at Los Altos Golf and Country Club. So we'd love to have you join us, sponsor, participate. It's an amazing day on the golf course. Many of you have been a part of that event previously, so I invite you to join us there. We have our 75th anniversary for the Chamber of Commerce that's coming. And so speaking of pavers, we are creating a plaza at the Chamber of Commerce in honor of the anniversary. And you can purchase a custom engraved paver with your name, family name, loved one, etc., or a copy of your business logo engraved on the brick, and be a part of a legacy here in Los Altos. We have a networking event that's tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, May 20th. We're waiting a confirmation. There was one possible glitch with that. So put that on your calendar as a question mark, and we'll be sending out further information to confirm that. I see Diana is helping by putting a link to purchase your brick into the chat, so I really appreciate that. We will have a fabulous celebration with Epicurean Group to celebrate our 75th anniversary and do a ribbon cutting and be able to utilize that plaza as a public space for the chamber and the community.
Did you also mention the Taste of Los Altos?
So Taste of Los Altos will be in the fall. That will be October 18th. And that will be our small bites and big flavors sort of event, highlighting all of the fabulous food and beverage in Los Altos, and the first annual event.
Lots going on. Lots going on. Okay.
Sure.
Are there any quick announcements from the group?
I
Sure,
did want
Scott has some. Go
I
ahead.
just want to say really quickly that I'm always available to chat individually. I know that in a group setting, if you want to talk, feel free, send me an email. You know how to find me.
Diana,
right,
I
thanks,
hope
Anthony.
Scott's going to talk.
Scott's
got
going
a
to
lot
talk.
of
Yeah, thank
events.
you.
Yeah.
I heard my name. So May's a crazy month. So everybody, farmers market's open Thursdays now through the middle of October. This Friday is the Bubbly Stroll. Come on out, join us for that. A week after that is Bike and Dine. So grab a bike and head into town. Make sure you register through the Eventbrite link so you can get the swag bag that Mr. Seidel has so graciously gone and picked up and then stashed under my desk here. I keep kicking them. And then let's see what's after bike. Oh, Pet Parade. Hey, make sure you come down for the Pet Parade.
Yeah.
On the 17th, don't forget that. And then Head West is coming back to downtown on the 25th, the fourth Sunday of every month. That's all that's going on downtown. I think I saw Mark had his hand up.
You covered a lot of it.
It was a pop.
Just saying it's bike month. Today is bike to school day, so careful driving around out there. There's lots of school kids biking.
I want to throw out one more thing. I haven't actually thanked Cal Water as well. So they've been really good in letting Lava know what's going on and allowing us to be able to put that word out. Also want to thank them for being at the Living Electric Fair on Sunday with their water trailer. That's great. And they'll be back at the Arts and Wine Festival again this year as well. So looking forward to seeing all of them again. Thank you all for that. And yeah, we'll already see the construction and everything has started in Plaza 6. So keep an eye out for that.
And I wouldn't be working for a hospital if I didn't put in a plug for folks that if your kids, I have adults also, but if you're a kid riding a bike, put a helmet on. All right. A properly fitted helmet. Okay. All right. Any other last announcement? Perfect. All right. You got 8 minutes back in your day. Be productive. I will see you all next month at the next Government Affairs Committee meeting. Have a good day, everyone.
For your participation. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Cal Water team, city staff. Thank you.